Hello, 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 friends. It's your girl, Angier Marie, and you are watching COVID-19 and Company conversations from the epicenter across the globe. I'm so happy to join you all once again this Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Texas. As I made an announcement a few weeks back that I was moving to Texas. So I wanted to just get you all caught up. First, I want to apologize to all of you faithful followers, those that have been watching my show each and every week as I've made the transitions from Mondays to Sundays and so forth. So last week, I apologized because I did not have the show. And I just simply said, hey, I'm having some birthday shenanigans going on, right? And I bet you all thought I was having like this fabulous birthday. And like I just couldn't even get to the computer or I forgot about you guys. But as you see today, I am all dressed up in my tiara and my sash. Look, I got birthday queen going on. Okay, because sadly, the birthday shenanigans were not fun. And I normally spend my birthday in some fabulous place traveling around the world. Shout out to my Burmy babes because, Bermuda was like my spot for like forever for my birthday. And then I started running back and forth to Cote d'Ivoire in West Africa. So shout out to all my Ivorian brothers and sisters. I love you guys. I miss you guys. Those are like my two favorite birthday spots, right? But I ended up going back to New York for my birthday, which was like, yay, I'm going to New York. Like maybe it would be fun, but I was moving and I was able to, get some people to work for me so I could go back to New York. So as much as I wanted to do something fun, you have to be a grown up and do the responsible thing. And I needed to move. So I ended up moving for my birthday. And so I flew and it was very interesting. I got stuck in Charlotte for hours. Flights are really, really full. People are traveling like crazy. And when I was in Charlotte, I was like trying to get out to New York and I was like, oh, well, let's just change things and I'll go to Philadelphia, right? That sounds like a good idea. I'll go to Philly and then I can just drive to New York because it's only like 2.5 hours. No, not a good idea because my flight was delayed because of weather. So I was on about a 5-hour delayed flight and I missed my check-in for my rental car. So I was stuck in Philly. So this is like such an adventure, right? This is
That's a nightmare of a birthday.
like on my birthday. This is what happened. So we finally got to Philly and I was like, okay, where we're going to stay because it's like midnight. And I did get to stay at the Aloft Hotel. And actually, it was really nice, the hotel. So I got to stay there for a few hours. And here's a highlight in the morning when I picked up my rental car. I
The
was
silver lining to your birthday.
right, like I'm in Philly, right? Well, I don't like to get cheesesteaks anywhere else but Philly, right? So I hopped on in the car and I went over to I think it's South Street. I'm not sure the name of the street, but I went over to Pat's and Gino's. Like there's two famous cheesesteak places, and I've been there once ever in my life. And it's like Pat's is on one corner and Gino's is on the opposite corner. It's like Little Italy in Philly. And so I had to have a cheesesteak from both because like it's my birthday and I'm just gonna enjoy it. So I like Pat's. There's this whole thing about who's better, Pat's or Gino's. And then there's other places you can go, but those are like the two like most famous, oldest cheesesteak places. So I like both of them, but I prefer Pat's. However, Gino's, they were really nice over there, and their cheesesteak was still good. And I like to get the peppers, the mushrooms, the onions, like the works.
There you
One I
go.
got cheese whiz, one I got provolone cheese. So, I kind of mixed it up a little bit. But then it was really nice. I took pictures of the guys making my cheesesteak at Pat's. And then at Gino's, the lady,
that.
it was cool, right? That I was like, can I take your picture while you're like wrapping that up? They're like, yeah, hey. And they're like holding the cheesesteak.
Yeah, that's like free advertisement.
Right. So that was kind of fun. But the lady at Geno's, she told us they've been around for 66 years, and she was telling us little historic stuff, and she gave us some pins. So I got a nice
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
steak pin. That was like my first. Well, it was like my second birthday gift. So I was like, okay, this is cool. We're going uphill. So
How did you get to New York?
so I drove to New York, and it took me like 3.5 hours. I don't know. Like I'm one of those weirdos where like I swear I'm following GPS, but then somehow I keep getting rerouted, and I'm going, I must have missed a turn, an exit, or I don't know.
That
But
happens to me all the time. That happened to me today.
so I did get to
Apparently
New
I can't
York.
follow the little blue ball.
I can't follow it, and
Can you
so but
imagine
I got there.
how did we get around before GPS?
I don't
Remember
know.
we had to pull out like the maps and like follow the little line.
Exactly.
How did we get
And hold the map and try to drive because I used to do that when I did sales.
and
Like
have the light on?
have the map on the steering wheel, and I would keep folding it over, and while I'm driving I'm like holding the map with one hand and going, wait, I think I'm supposed to go that way.
We still got there. And now we got a full-blown GPS telling us where to go. We
Right,
still
in
got lost.
1.5 miles. Take exit number 632. Somehow, I get lost. So I did make it to Philly. I mean, from Philly to New York, and that was cool. So then that day, because I'm all about the food. Okay, so if I can't have any other thing, the happiness of food, because I'm like a true foodie, is
Mhm.
all good. So I ended up going
You
to
should do that. You should do
restaurant.
that too, like a
Yeah,
foodie network.
I thought about that. I used to just have flights just for food. So
And Texas is like the place to be for that because they've
I
got a lot of good like barbecue and stuff going on.
got you. See, I've only heard about I think it's called the Turkey Leg Hut or something. Like, I don't know. Hey, guys, like if you're watching and you know some good places to eat in Texas, like let me know because I need to go check them out because, now I'm in Texas. But while I was in New York, I went to Harlem because I have to have my African food, y'all. Like, you gotta go to Harlem. So I went to my spot called, I think it's called Les Ambassadors. Les Ambassadors. It's a French restaurant. It's Senegalese. Cause I need a chebujen. If I'm gonna be like, if I'm gonna get my African food, I need to get some chebujen. And
Okay, so your birthday wasn't all that bad.
well, the food made it the best. Okay, so I have my chebujen, and then I had my ginger drink, and that's like when I'm in Abidjan, that's pretty much all I drink. Um,
Mhm.
so it was so bad that like I drank ginger drink while I was in New York, and when I got back to Texas, I went and made a picture of it. Like, oh my gosh, I missed ginger drink so much, so I went and made my own.
It's supposed to be really, really good.
It is
I've
like
heard it's very, very good. And ginger's supposed to be very good for you.
a
So.
little sweet, like a little pineapple juice in there. I did a little brown sugar, and
Mhm.
it's nice and it's hot, spicy, but it's sweet, on point. So I needed my ginger juice. So that was cool. And then like I was just packing boxes and doing all the, sweat and tears, because I'm crying because I'm leaving New York, and I love New York. I
So
miss
this is it?
all
You got everything?
I got everything. It's official. Like I'm gone. I turned in my keys, and I hesitated on that. I was like, my landlord's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like,
No.
"I'm not really sure. I love you guys. I love New York. This is my family. This is my home. So don't worry, I'll be back."
I know when you left Charlotte, we were all in shock. We're like, the soul of Charlotte, the queen bee. It's
Oh my
gone.
gosh, yes. So here's me moving around once again. So,
I mean, you can't
so
get around that beautiful smile. You can't get
uh,
around Charlotte without seeing
thank
Angie's
you.
smile. Look at that smile, y'all.
I love Charlotte, man.
Wouldn't you
I
love
got
to be
to come
greeted by
visit.
that smile? Good
Shout out to
morning.
Charlotte, to all of my Charlottean friends, man. That was my first home away from home. I miss you guys. I love you all too. So that's what's been going on for my birthday. And the last food thing was my doubles from S&A Roti Shop, and it's on Liberty Avenue and like 104th. It's like it's near my church, so they have the best doubles. Okay, because she actually seasons the dough before she makes the, like, I don't know what you call the bread, but I can't think of it right now.
What are the doubles? I've
Doubles.
never heard of this.
But it's a Caribbean thing. So
Oh,
this lady's from Trinidad, and it's like they make this dough, and it's like, so it's like a fried dough bread, and then
mhm.
they put what they call chana inside, which is it's chickpeas, and they cook the chickpeas like, I think it's like a curry sauce that they cook the chickpeas, but they cook them nice and soft with all the spices, and then I always get like a little bit of tamarind sauce because that's the sweet sauce, and slight pepper. I take my doubles with tamarind and slight pepper.
Okay.
Okay, so that
I'm gonna
place,
have to look this up.
like, it's the best because the way that she seasons her doubles dough, like I haven't tasted anyone else's doubles like that before. So I was just like, give me like 10. Okay. It's like I'm
Because
headed
I'm
out Philly, and I'm just gonna eat them on the road. So me and Honey are just like, hey, let's eat doubles and drive. I had my Pedro, and I was doing it like Trinidadian style on the way out of New York. Like I'm leaving Trini style. So that was the birthday shenanigans. So because of the flights and the craziness and the weather, I wasn't able to do the show. So Monica Posse is like my sister from a different mister, my ace boom coon. This is Monica, you all. Monica, welcome to the show. I know they're like, who's
thank
this
you.
girl? Like, there's this girl here. Like, but if you saw the advertisements, you saw Monica was going to be on. So Monica lives in Spain. And we were going to talk actually last week, but because the birthday shenanigans, we couldn't do the show. So thank you, Monica, for making yourself available for us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
I'm so excited. I'm happy to see you. Like, I missed you so much. Let me tell you about Monica real quick, y'all. Like, this is my girl, okay? I love Monica. So we know each other from back in Charlotte, and we used to all hang out. And she's like my sissy number two, like my work sissies. I have my birthday twin, JJ. That's the first sissy. And then Monica came around, and we just adopted her. So it's like,
That
this is
was 10
Monica,
years ago, everybody. Over
and
10 years ago.
it's
Over 10
crazy.
years ago. And
Yeah.
like I said, when I walked into the airport, she was this glowing, just smile. And it was just an
Oh,
amazing. She was my first person that introduced herself, the first person. And we just clicked. And like you said, JJ came along and Sissy was there. And
that's it.
we're an inseparable trio.
That's it. That's when
Yep,
you find one, you find all three of us. We're
that's
like the
right.
three stooges.
And the rest is history.
Charlotte, yes. So it's funny. I even went to visit Monica before in Spain, and it was funny because remember when I came to Spain, I was coming from India, right? So I'm just this crazy girl. Like, I'm already in India. I'm hanging out, and I'm like, I can route myself like through Madrid and come back to New York. So, well, why don't I just hop over to Valencia and see Monica for a couple of days? And we had a great trip. So the picture from the promo was from the trip when I was in Spain with Monica. And the worst thing was they lost my baggage. When I left Bombay, they lost my baggage. And I'm at Monica's. And like Monica, and we don't wear the same size, but I had no clothes. Monica was like, "Here, I got some pants. I think you can wear them." I'm going, Monica, I can't fit your pants. She's like, "Don't worry." She's like a size medium, and I'm like a size 2XL. She's like, "Don't worry, we'll figure it out."
You get in there. Well, she did, y'all.
I did, right? I squeezed into Monica's pants, and it was so funny. I was like, I don't know how. I don't know if you're ever going to get these back to the right size, but
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. We all got a booty.
right. So that's Monica. That's my girl, y'all. And Monica Monica's a mother. She's a realtor, and she's been in Spain. Like, it's been since 2017, right?
2015.
2015. Gosh, time is
2015.
flying.
I've been here for 6 years.
6 years. Wow.
It flew by. I
Yeah.
don't know where the time went. I don't know when the time went. Not like she said, I'm a mother of two. I have a daughter, Sophia,
Yes.
and she
Yeah.
is almost 17 now. And
Yes.
then I have a little
Beautiful.
son. His name is Leo or Leo,
Yes.
and he is going to be 4 in October. So big age gap, but those
Yeah.
my two little devils,
And her
terrible
daughter's
threes and terrible
amazing.
teenagers. I don't know. I didn't work that one out.
No, her daughter's amazing. So I love, shout out to Sophia. I love her, and I send my kisses to Leo.
Yeah.
Um, I love those two. They're such a joy for me. I'm like, Sophia knew everything. She took me around. She's like, oh, I know what's going on. I was like,
Oh yeah, when we went to the airport, remember you would just give Sophia a tour. Come on, let's go, Sophia.
okay.
Come on, Auntie. Come on, Auntie.
Yep. She gave it back to me when I got to Spain. So
Yeah.
what's funny, what's really, really interesting this week, and it just happened because I didn't know it was coming up, but Spain actually reopened their borders
Mm.
to travelers from the US this week. So I was like, oh, this is so on point for us to have a conversation. With all the COVID craziness, like I wanted to have this interview for like a year now, y'all. And
Mm.
because I was listening to some things that were going on, and Monica and I speak often. So Spain, it was like really crazy what was going on there amidst this whole pandemic. So how have you and your family been during this whole pandemic?
Well, it last year in March, it was really bad. Spain had one of the strictest COVID restrictions. We were not allowed outside of our homes. We
Wow.
were not allowed. We were not allowed outside of our homes for 3 months, only to get essentials.
Right.
And even then, they were taking our temperature. We stood 6 feet apart. We're still wearing masks. You cannot go outside without wearing a mask. Every single person over the age of 6 still
Yeah.
needs to wear a mask. So if you're coming to Spain,
Hmm.
you need to wear a mask or you will get fined.
Wow.
And it was horrible.
What's the
For me,
fine?
what's the fine? It could be anywhere from 600 euros to 4,000.
Wow.
They're very hefty fines.
Hmm.
Um, I remember when I first came here because I was flying back to New York. I was flying. No, I'm sorry. I was flying back from New York, and I had stayed there for like three or 4 days. Actually, we met in New York when I was there.
Right.
Remember?
Exactly.
We-
Yes.
Yeah, we went out to eat and all that stuff, and up the Hudson. Um, and as soon as I got back, like the day after we landed, I mean, they shut everything down, and people were just COVID here, COVID there. And like you said, New York had it hit the hardest. And I thought, oh my gosh, my son and I just came from New York. I
Hmm.
mean, we were walking on the Brooklyn Bridge. We
Right.
were touching everything. We were all over. And at that time, the US thought, oh, we're immune to this. It's only in the Asia, you
Mm.
know? No. When I got here, everything closed. You were not allowed outside your home unless you had a dog. You couldn't walk. Actually, when my mother and I, we went um, together one time to the store, and I remember a police officer stopping us and saying, "Let me see your ID," because if you lived if you were in a different zip code than what your ID said, then you would get fined.
Wow.
And you were not allowed to walk with two people. You were only supposed to be one person per household going out to get this the shopping done. If
Right.
you wanted to go to the pharmacy, same thing. Um, Only one person allowed. And still, we still have that here in Spain. If
Right.
you want to go into the pharmacy, only
Hmm.
two people are allowed at a time.
Wow.
And if you're going to go to the grocery store, only 30 people are allowed in the grocery store at all times. So
Mm.
they have someone like clocking you in, the number of people that are coming in and out of the store. We still have that. We're all wearing masks. There's still, what do you call it? Antibacterial liquids everywhere before you walk in. Um, yeah. And so during COVID, it was really, really hard to stay in for 3 months, and it wasn't like we're driving around. No. If you the city itself locked down, so you couldn't get in or out. You couldn't get out of the city at all.
Right. I remember you telling me that you could only take Leo out for like 1 hour a day.
No. No, we weren't allowed, no one was allowed outside. They had after the 3 months, we were permitted to go out for 1 hour a day. That was
Right.
after the 3 months, but
After, oh my
while
God.
we were quarantined, n all of the, all of the playgrounds were red taped. You could not play on any playground. You weren't
Right.
outside, you weren't, I mean, we literally could not go outside our doors.
Mm. That's something. Like I think a lot of people, and I think that was part of the reason why I started the show, right? Because as I was just seeing things and experiencing what's going on in New York, I've been talking to different friends in different places, not just New York, not just in the US, but abroad. And I was hearing some of these restrictions and how crazy it was. And I was like, well, I can go outside whenever I want. Like I got to social distance and wear my mask, but I can go to the grocery. In New York, they made you wait outside in lines. Like
Yeah.
only so many people could come in, but you can still do your basic shopping. You didn't have to be restricted. Like I heard in Jamaica, or I think it was Bermuda, like certain days of the week, you could only go shopping certain days of the week. So like if you forgot something, you had to wait till the next week. Some of them were doing by your last name, by the alphabet. Like that's the day you could go shopping was based on your last name. And I'm going, wow, they're having all these restrictions. Um, in Paris, my friends told me that you have to have a permit to go outside. If you went outside without a permit, like so I was listening to all these things and I'm going, wow, like people need to know. Like sometimes we're in rough situations, right? And we think like, oh, the world has just ended, like it's over because we're having this one bad situation.
Yeah,
But
the US was very, very fortunate.
yeah, it's always worse somewhere. So
Mm.
we have to count our blessings. And then, New York was really strict. So when I started coming to check out Texas, like everybody was really lax. I was like, I can go in the store. I don't have to wait outside in line. Like there's times that, like I told you, I went to go get my Trinidadian doubles. Well, I was in New York during the pandemic and I had to stand outside in the cold for like 30 or 40 minutes before I could get inside the store, just the restaurant to buy
Yeah.
food. And I'm in Texas and I could just walk in, buy what I want, do what I want. I was like, I
Were you
think
guys allowed to sit in restaurants?
no, not allowed to sit down. You can
Yeah,
just
we
come and take out.
yep, everything was just takeout. We're just now, because I mean, you've been to Spain and there's nothing but terraces. Like everyone eats outside.
Right.
So no one there's only a certain amount of people that can sit inside,
Mhm.
but they have restricted to only 60% occupancy for even outside. So they're
Wow.
not at 100% occupancy. So if you
Right.
want to eat, you have to eat outside. And if there's a wait, you're going to have to wait a really long time to eat because people here, they will sit and chat it up for hours.
Right.
And the restaurant business took a really, really big hit because, you know, they'll sit and chat it up and eat. And I mean, they have like 3-course meals
Right.
every meal. These people are for real. And
Right.
so, like, they will sit in during their siesta, they'll have like from 2 to 5, they will have this huge meal. And imagine if you're at 6 at no, at there was a I mean, now in June, they're at 60% occupancy.
Mhm.
Last month, we were still at 30%. So
Right.
there would only be like 2 or 3 tables sitting outside.
Wow, that's something. Yeah. So I mean, it's like it's been bad everywhere, and in some places we're really more restricted than others. And I know that things have opened up. Like New York is really has opened up, and I don't know how Spain, like they've opened the borders, so that's good. I know that it's really been a big push about the vaccines. And I was reading about, it was so funny because I was reading about the June 7th opening of the borders. If you have your COVID vaccine, and I think you need to do some kind of, I don't know, locator form, some kind of declaration, and you're good to go to come into Spain. And like maybe in the next day when I went to work, I was talking to somebody that was going to Spain. I was like, oh, well, that's fitting that I was just reading because I wanted to kind of be abreast of what's going on. So when I spoke with you, I would have an idea. And then it was just like, okay, there's this whole flood about Spain. And I was reading some articles where there was this brother and sister that travel. They just like to travel kind of on the spur of the moment. And as soon as they heard about Spain reopening, they were like, they just bought tickets. And it was like the brother's birthday was like the day they were going to
Yeah.
land in Spain. And they were vaccinated. So they were like, yeah, we can go to Spain. But I do know, because I read a little bit more, because I was like, well, is it only if you're fully vaccinated? That's what they prefer. But you can go with a negative COVID test also. So I'm like, yes,
No,
Spain.
no, no. You have to be fully vaccinated.
That
Otherwise, you're not getting in.
okay. I
You
had
have to
missed
you
that.
have to be fully vaccinated.
Mhm.
And if you are fully vaccinated, you do not have to have a PCR test. Sophia and my son were in Miami just a few days ago. They just got in,
Uh-huh.
like 3 days ago.
Okay.
So they came in June 8th.
Okay.
They came here June 8th. So yeah, that's what they said. And the PCR tests over there they're pretty expensive.
Okay.
To get into the United States, the United States Customs only asks for an antigen test, which isn't expensive here. It's maybe 20 euro
Okay.
each person. But to get into Spain, you have to have a specific PCR test, not an antigen
Right.
test, and be fully vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gets expensive to fly to
Right.
Spain. But yeah, if you're fully and there's no quarantine. In the UK, I've heard that they still have quarantine.
Yeah.
And you get tested, I think, like on the 2nd and on the 10th day
Something.
or
I
something
think
like
it's
that.
second and the eighth. I think it is.
2nd and
I
8th?
was
Okay.
reading about it. Yes.
Yeah, so but Spain doesn't have that. Spain doesn't have a quarantine,
That's
just as long as that you're fully vaccinated. But
got.
other than that, I mean, when my husband was going to Miami, he
Mm-hmm.
said the plane was empty. There was only like 8 people.
Oh wow. Okay.
There, I mean, the whole plane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you and I know planes. There are 300
Right.
seaters just on a regular. You know,
Exactly.
there were 6 people.
Wow. That's something.
There was nothing, but on the way back, he
Mm-hmm.
was like, it was packed
Yes.
full. The
Everybody's
whole
ready. They're like, I'm
the
out.
they're
Let's
gone, they're gone.
go.
They were packed like this.
Yeah.
They were packed. So, yeah, I mean, economy's picking up, everybody's slowly coming back to normal.
That's
And so is Spain. Spain and then and also, you have to get on their website and get a QR code and tell them, where you're gonna stay, how long you're staying.
okay. That's what that.
Um,
It was some kind of
yeah.
declaration form I heard. Okay.
Yeah, from the Ministry of Travel. And
Okay.
so you get a QR code and you have all of your information, your passport information, your name, your telephone number, your address, where you're staying, how long you will be staying. And then, so every traveler has to present that at customs.
Okay. Got you.
And whether it's on your phone or whether you printed it, but everyone has to have that
Okay.
along with their negative PCR test and their vaccine card.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And my husband said they were pretty thorough
Mm-hmm.
at the border.
Got you. Because it was even funny, the article I was reading, and I sent you the article too. And the guys, the brother and sister couple were talking about how when they first got there, the customs officers didn't know what to do. They're like, wait a minute. Like, are you're not allowed. Wait, they're not allowed to
Is
come.
this happening?
Wait, hold on. Let me talk to my supervisor. But they said it
What are you
wasn't.
doing here?
It was. They had a conversation amongst themselves while the passengers were waiting, and then they were like, "Okay, stamp." So it's. I'm happy to hear that there's this reopening. I'm not really interested in the whole vaccine thing, so I guess
Yeah,
I have to wait.
it's so sad that we have to get vaccinated in
Right.
order to travel.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, there's
And
a big push here that like companies are giving away money and vacation days. And I saw one company's like, oh, we'll give you a Metro card, like all these incentives, like go get your vaccine and we're going to give you this. And it's like,
yeah, I saw some for Krispy Kreme. I love myself some Krispy Kreme.
right?
And there were like a dozen if you can prove your vaccine card. Oh, but here in Spain, no. You get
Right.
a text message until you go get vaccinated.
Okay.
And so everyone has, because Spanish has an amazing healthcare system.
Right.
And so everyone has their, it's called a SIP card, SIP.
Hmm.
Um, so when you get sick, you just go to your local, I mean, mine is like literally a block away.
Okay.
Um, my local doctor. And so everyone gets a little number. You have your card, you have your health card. And with that health card, the Ministry of Health will assign you a date and time according to how old you are, to
Okay.
your age group. So here in Spain, I think they're doing like anywhere, I think from 55 to 46. They're
Okay.
doing that this week.
Hmm.
Um, and so there you'll get card by your number, but there
Right.
are no incentives
Mhm.
to get vaccinated. You just keep getting a text message over and over and over again. Um, and there's no option to opt out of this text message. You keep getting it until you go get a vaccine. So
Wow.
I guess they're keeping track of who is getting it and who isn't.
Right.
And it's just so sad that you have to get vaccinated
Hmm.
to be able to travel. I myself, I'm not a I'm not against vaccines. I just wish there were more, thoroughly investigated, I guess, or
Right.
really.
That's where I'm at with it too. And it's like, okay, yeah, there's been too many like, oh, see, well, your former president is getting vaccine on TV, so like, so you can know it's safe. Or let's go get like Tyler Perry. Can you get vaccinated so you can tell people that it's okay? And it's like, why? Like the fact that it's such a push for it is what makes me nervous about it. Like it's
Mm,
a general like flu shot. I don't take the flu shot either,
I don't
but
even get the flu shot either.
like you
I'm
get
not
people
against vaccines. I am totally not against vaccines, and I get the minimum of what's required, even for myself, even for my children. They don't get the flu shots, but I wish there more been more trials or longer trials. Uh, my my husband's my husband's friend actually died from getting the vaccine,
right.
and from the day he got the vaccine to about 4 days later, he passed away.
My condolences to him and his family.
Yeah, and it's just terrible when you hear about that, and because you don't, I mean, he was perfectly healthy. He was perfectly fine, never got COVID. He was great.
Right. See,
And
I've
then
heard a
he
lot
had
of horror stories too. So I'm like,
and it was
I think I'm the one. I'm like the only one in my family not vaccinated now. So I'm getting this push from my family. What's like, what's your deal? And I'm just like,
what's your I mean, I'm eventually gonna get it
I
because
have to, but
yeah, I'm eventually gonna get it because I do wanna travel. I do wanna travel again, and it's kinda like you're putting me between a rock and a hard place. Like,
exactly.
you know, do I have to get it in order to travel, and it's just,
Right.
so what are we gonna do?
Yeah. I'm like, I'll just watch you all for a little while because it's like
Yeah, like, let me
you know, you're the guinea pig, but it's all good. I'm not knocking anyone for, for getting it. I think
right.
like I just feel like if I'm healthy, like why am I putting extra medicine in my body, you know?
Mhm.
But even I had looked at the vaccine update for New York as of today from Governor Cuomo, and it's like 69, so almost 70% of New Yorkers at 18 or above have already gotten the vaccine. And it's like about almost 58% of New Yorkers, what does it say? I'm sorry, 61% of New Yorkers have completed their vaccine series, but about almost 70% have at least had one dose. So, people
Okay.
are getting it. And I mean, the numbers are down, but I think that, they did a good job of controlling things and getting the numbers down. Um, Before
Yeah.
we had the vaccine, there was some
I mean, it's
fluctuation.
obviously working, right? It's
Yeah,
obviously
it's
working
doing
because
something.
everything is coming down. As of like in the past 2 weeks, we've had 2,329 cases. So that's a
Okay.
lot for the Valenciano community.
Right.
And
Right.
our total cases
Mhm.
here in Valencia were almost 400,000.
Got you. So that, I mean,
Almost
and it's
400,000
Valencia
people.
small.
And Valencia is very, very small. So,
Right. So
I
that's
mean,
a good bit of people. I was looking at, I think in Spain in general, like overall Spain, I read that it was about 20% of the population is fully vaccinated, about 26% at this point. So,
yeah, they just started, I wanna say a couple of weeks ago,
okay.
but because they started with the elderly first.
Right. So then I think that's a lot. Like I think that number is pretty high considering because we've had the vaccine for a while here. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
we just got it. Well,
just
we had AstraZeneca,
mm-hmm.
but then they stopped. They stopped giving that
Right.
out, and then, we never got Johnson& and Johnson here.
Okay.
We
So
never we never had the chance, but now we do have Pfizer and we do have Moderna.
okay. So that's good.
So,
There's more options.
yeah. So those are the 2 that we have. We don't have they're not doing AstraZeneca anymore.
Okay, because I saw that name, but then I haven't seen anyone who's had it. Like I haven't heard
Mm,
anyone say they had that one.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
And right now, I mean, I still haven't received a text. My husband is supposed to get it the day after tomorrow.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Sure. Well, my prayers will be with him too, definitely. So, what have
Mhm.
you been doing to stay healthy?
Nothing.
Just the norm.
Like, COVID, besides the 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
um, besides the 3 months that we are on strict lockdown, my
Hmm.
life really hasn't changed, to be honest. Um,
Right.
here, I wanna say a month ago,
Mm-hmm.
probably less than a month ago, um, I think there was a curfew till 10 o'clock. You couldn't go past out 10 o'clock, or you would get a fine.
Wow. That's
And
something.
so I think, like, in the last month, they raised it to midnight,
Mm-hmm.
and then finally, I think last weekend, I think curfew is 2 a.m.,
Okay.
but you can't stay out all night. So if there's people coming to party till 5 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
y'all need to probably stay home because they still have a curfew here. But because I have a small young child, um, I had to be in by, doing dinner at 7, eating by
Right.
8, showers. I mean, I was already inside, so I'm not partying, I'm not going out anyway. I'm a mom.
That's it.
There's no partying for me. There's no you know, I have my own curfew and it's 7. It's 7, COVID or no COVID.
Right. I got you.
So
So,
they're like, "Oh, we can't go out and party." Well, welcome. Well,
right.
welcome.
They
So,
should be happy that you can just come. I wonder are things open like how you took me around and we saw like all like the churches, and I think there was a library we went to downtown in Valencia. Like, are the
Yeah,
tourist attractions opening? Do you know?
yes, but again, it's only 30% occupancy.
Okay.
So if you don't get there early enough,
Mm-hmm.
you
Gotcha.
don't, I'm going to, I bought some tickets to a ballet,
Okay.
and the person well, I bought two for myself and for my daughter to go to ballet, but they're still seating one yes, one no. They still have open seats
Okay.
to maintain. So, and then they're still at 60% occupancy. So everything is still very minimum. So even when I feel bad, kind of feel bad for all these tourists. They're like, "Yay, Spain's opening up." Well, no, not really,
Right.
because if you don't have tickets and you haven't stood in line early enough,
Mm-hmm.
you're not getting in. And mind you, the it's they'll open up at 9 and then they close everything at 2 till
Okay.
5, and then it closes around 8. So if you're not into if you're not in early enough, you're
Mm-hmm.
not getting in.
Wow.
And it's still only 30 to 60% occupancy. It depends on, like, for example, if you're eating out, then it's 60%. If it's in closed doors, then it's 30% occupancy. So you may not get in at all if you're going to see museums and such.
Right. Okay. So that's something for people to expect because you won't be sure if you can get in. So um, you really just kind of have to plan yourself accordingly and maybe have a lot of things on your to-do list. So if one thing doesn't work, you have an alternate thing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely want to have a plan or backup plan,
Right.
because it's open, but they're still very, and again, if you're not wearing a mask, they'll kick you out.
Gotcha.
It
See, I'm
is,
seeing that now here.
huh?
Like people are like, oh, I'm vaccinated. I don't have to wear my
Really?
mask. I'm vaccinated. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But there's these big signs on the doors of the stores that say, you know, you must wear a mask. I did see one place in Texas where they said if you're fully vaccinated, then you're not required to wear a mask. But then it's like, well, then
How do you
anybody
know?
wear a mask. That's fine. Like, I mean, it's all preference, but it's like you're not checking to go, oh, are you vaccinated? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
if
mean,
it's
who's
going to
really gonna
be
do that?
if it's going to be the people vaccinated don't have to wear the mask, then you should just say masks are not required anymore. Like, and whoever wants to wear the mask wears it, and they don't, they don't. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's regulating that. So I think it's interesting. And in an airport, like when I was traveling, I laugh at people like, because people still don't know how to wear the mask.
How do you not know how to put it over your ears?
But no, this is what I see. Here, look, here's my mask because I have my mask nearby. This
Oh,
is what I
look at
see.
that sparkle.
Yeah, yeah, I'm wearing my mask. Your nose is not covered. That's not how you wear mask. Yeah, I'm wearing my mask. Or they have it on like this, but they put it on their chin and they wear it like this. Yeah, I have a mask.
No, not here. People will stop you and they will tell you, cover your nose. People in Spain, they have no sense of like space.
Personal space. Yes.
They will come up to you and tell you, put your mask on over your nose or we leave.
Oh, I like that.
And yeah, they don't have a problem with kicking you out. So
Yeah.
people, if you're going to come here, I don't like masks. Nobody likes masks.
Either.
Nobody. You need to wear a mask. If
Mm,
you are 6 years old and over, you need to wear a mask. They will kick you out. They will not let you in. You will not get your groceries unless you order them online.
mm-hmm.
And that takes a couple of days because there is nothing express here. Everything is slow as snails.
Yeah. Wow.
If I order something today, they're like, okay, well, your order will be delivered in 2 to 3 business days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I need milk now.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it
That's
still
not
takes.
good. Oh my god. Like to think you can just like me, I could just go to the store and get my milk.
Yeah, no.
Oh my
If
gosh.
you want to order it online, I mean, you can obviously go downstairs.
Okay.
I live above a grocery store. I mean, here
Right.
it's I mean, I live across the street from a pharmacy. Everything is within walking distance. I mean, you've been here,
Mhm.
to my house, so everything is within walking distance. But if you wanted to order something online, yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing express. So
Wow.
you people, be prepared, wear your masks. E
Okay. So that's very good to know also. Wow. So I'm glad that, we had this chance to talk because I know a lot of people have COVID fatigue and they're just ready to go. And I was like, well, it's like the floodgates are opening for Spain, baby.
Yeah,
So I have to get back to Spain soon. We had a great time.
I get
And
to see my sissy.
what's that called? Paella? What's the dish called?
Paella.
Paella. Yeah, I need some paella. It's like it's like a stir fry, right? Like it's a rice dish.
It's a rice dish, and it's on a very thin platter, and it's like one layer of rice, and it's typically made of rabbit
Hmm.
with, but it can be made with, clams, seafood, prawns, whatever, but it's cooked over fire. It's like a barbecue, and they just put it on there, a very thin sheet of rice, with it could have rabbit, it could have chicken. There's many different kinds of paellas, and you have it with some sangria at lunch, sitting on a beach.
Hey, I love it. So I'm like, yeah, it's all about the food for Ange. Let's go.
And paella was it's a dish specifically from the Valenciano area.
Yes, I
So
love
it's not
it.
from Madrid. It didn't come from Madrid. It came from Valencia.
Okay. See, that's good to know. It's like you gotta know what food is good in the place you're going
Yeah,
because you want to eat good food. Like when I was
where it originated from. Yeah,
right, when I was in Japan, I was like, can I just get like some sushi? Because they had this I didn't understand the food. It was like they eat a lot of looks like ramen noodles. So it's like some noodles and it's some meat and it's like just in the brown water, like a brown soup, but like
yeah,
a
like the
good broth,
broth.
like a broth, right? And then it's like a boiled egg, and I'm like, the meat doesn't look like it's done, and I don't like eggs. It's just like stuff is like floating around in this. I'm not sure what's this broth. So like I had a really hard time in Japan. I had a great time overall, but for food I struggled like really bad. But
Thank God
like
I'm
give me
not
some
alone, I
sushi. I
guess.
like sushi. We can do that. So the last day I was there in the airport, I got sushi and I was happy. I,
I don't even like sushi. I would when I travel, it's almost like I'm vegan
yeah.
because, like you said, this meat isn't cooked. What is it doing floating around? And
Yeah, right.
and I don't really like curry. I'm just such a picky eater, and you know me. I'm just such a
I
picky
know.
eater.
But it's all right. It's all right. It's as long as you know what's good where you're going. I'm always about trying the signature dish of that place,
Yeah,
because like I'm not
you
gonna go
gotta at least
to India
try.
and look for chicken, you know,
Girl,
and
you
most
might find some rabbit. You might
most
find some rabbit here.
yeah, right. Like most people don't eat meat, so why would I go to India and look for chicken? I'm looking for chicken. Yeah, it's like an ice cream. It's really good, like a treat, or like some kind of vegan things like kaju masala. Yeah, I like my curries, so I
Yeah, I
don't
know you
know what's
do.
the specialty in that area. So I think that's pretty cool. I know we're getting close to time here. I want to ask you if you have any advice or any final words you would like to leave with the audience before you go.
Wear a mask. Wear a mask because you're not going to get around anywhere without it. And unfortunately, because I don't like wearing masks. Nobody likes wearing masks.
Right.
But yeah, that would be my advice: is uh, there are no and ifs or buts. There's no you're taking my right away. There's no privilege. There's none of these excuses that you have in the US. Well, you're taking my amendments and no, they don't care here. They don't care about your right. We don't care about what you think. They don't care. You wear a mask if you're outside. You're
Right.
walking outside your door, you better have your masks.
Gotcha. That's good. So we'll have to catch up with you about real estate stuff because you gave me a good tip the other day. 'Cause I was asking about foreclosures, and I know you had like 15 years in real estate, so we have to talk about some of that stuff sometime. But I was like, how do I find out about foreclosures? Like when I want to know something, I know I can just call Monica, and she'll be like, "You just do this, duh." I'm like, "Oh." She's like, "Call your bank and ask them for a list of foreclosures." I'm like, "Oh, that's simple."
Call me.
Yeah.
Just call me.
So,
I've been in real estate for about 15 years, a little over 15 years. But
yeah,
yeah, just call me.
got you. So I know
And I'm
you.
doing real estate here in Spain too, but it
Yeah,
is very, very different. Very different. And it's very irritating that I'm trying to get my foot in the door and it's very difficult here.
I
So
saw your ad, your Remax ad. It looks great. I was like, that's
thank
my
you.
sister.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, my friend Gar, shout out to my friend G.
yeah.
He is from Pakistan and he's an amazing photographer
Uh-huh.
and he's got so many companies. I mean, this guy is just a guru for everything. I don't, and he is so wise. Um, and he did all my social media. He
Nice.
set me up. He hooked me up with social
Yeah.
media. He's taught me a lot. And yeah, so he is helping me trying to spread my wings here in Spain.
Okay.
So G's when G watches, thank you, G. But yeah, I
Yeah.
am getting my foot in the door here in Spain. So
That's really good. So if you're looking for real estate in Spain, you need a house. What are your specialties?
well, right now everything, but in the states,
I
in
know
the
you
states,
do
I did a lot of
investment.
commercial and retail, but
Okay.
here, because Valencia is I mean, it's just like explodes
Mhm.
during the spring and summer.
Okay.
It's a high rental. If I mean, think of it a Rome. Think of it like a small Italy.
Mhm.
And so we have travelers from everywhere, and a lot of people are expats, and so they do a lot of rentals. So that's what I'm doing right now. A lot of
Okay.
long-term rentals from anywhere from 1 year to 2 years.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I also help buy and sell,
Mhm.
but right now everybody's like you said because of COVID, everyone moved back home and things like that. And now that Spain is opening up, I am getting a rush for a lot of long term rentals.
Okay. See, that's good to know. And
Mhm.
I think that that's important because, the audience that watches this show is global. And there may be someone in Spain or there may be someone here in the US that will be needing a long term rental or wants to purchase a vacation home or something like that. So, guys, we have Monica. She's in Valencia. She can help you. So, give them your contact info.
Okay, yeah. It's Monica.Posse, which is Posse at remax.es. So there, yeah, there is a Remax here in Valencia. So, and
Awesome.
again, and it's my telephone number is +34 665 946 743, and I do have WhatsApp. There's a lot of people are using WhatsApp nowadays,
Definitely.
and you can give me a call or shoot me an email,
Okay.
and even if you just have a question, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay. We thank you for that, Monica. Um,
Anytime, sis.
so I'm gonna hit you up with some questions. I'm trying to figure out this kind of stuff. It's like it's time to
I
take
know
the
you're
menu.
looking for foreclosures.
I'm looking. So,
Hey, Texas right now is the place to be. Even my daughter said, "Oh, I want to move to Texas
oh
because
wow.
there's so many properties that have an abundance in land, and it's very affordable. It's much more affordable than even Charlotte. Charlotte has that
Skyrocket.
crazy,
Yeah.
like
It's
crazy.
insane.
It just went, took
Right.
off.
It's really crazy. I
It
know.
just the real estate took off.
It really did. So, and here in Texas, but what I'm hearing overall, because also some of my sponsors are also realtors, and they're saying that it's right now it's a seller's market. Like you, if you want to sell, things are selling like hotcakes. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh gosh, you got to be like really, really ready if you want to buy. Like you got to be everything
Yeah, you've got to be on it. You got to get a pre-approval. You've got
ready.
to have your money legit. I mean, everything has got to be on point when you make that offer because they will take it.
Gone, right?
Well, yeah, and I mean, and also you're up against 10 to 20 other buyers that are looking for the same thing because
Right.
there's no, I mean, it is a seller's market,
Hmm.
but there's no inventory because everything is going so quickly.
Yeah.
Because there is such a high demand that everything is going so quickly. So
Yeah. It's
you're
crazy.
going to, sellers are hitting up with a lot of multiple offers. And so,
That's it. So I'm gonna get us out of here. The surprise I had a surprise.
yeah,
I
I
was
was waiting for my surprise of the
I know, and
Marie.
I was waiting. That I was like trying to hold up and wait, but I was trying to get our sissy JJ on, but for some reason she can't get in the stream. So because we're doing the whole birthday celebrations and everything.
Um,
So I wanted to pull JJ in. I don't know how to help her get in the because I get like I just sent you the link and you clicked on the link right to come in,
yeah.
and she says she can't get it on her phone. I don't know if it's maybe a setting thing that is prohibiting from her from joining
Mm,
because we've been texting back and forth. So I'll probably just come back on live like off of StreamYard and come back on live so I can see JJ because we have we're twinning and
yeah.
I'm gonna do a quick toast. Like I have my
That's so
juice.
bubbly.
Yes, it's just juice. It's apple raspberry juice, but it's bubbly, it's sparkling. And as we get ready to go, I'm just gonna have a glass of juice. It's not wine, okay? I don't want to get anybody all excited. And I have my cup.
Well,
And
I've had plenty of wine living here in Spain. How much is a bottle of wine over there now?
I don't even know. I can't tell you
Oh,
last time I bought a bottle of wine. I have to find
here.
out for you.
Here, well, not the most expensive, but the typical, like for a really good wine,
Mhm.
not a great wine,
Right.
but a bottle of wine is maybe €3.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
a whole bottle, a
Yeah.
whole bottle. I'm not talking a glass. I'm talking a bottle.
I'm like, that's a glass here. I have to see. I haven't even paid any attention to any of that stuff. So I'll have to let you know.
Okay.
See my glass.
Ting ting.
My glass says it's my birthday month. So since it's not my birthday day, I am celebrating the whole month. By the way, if you want to send me a gift, I do have Cash App. I am $ and Jerry Marie, and you can feel free to send your gift. I love you guys. I'm just gonna have a quick sip. I'm gonna share our Bible verse and do a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Oh, happy birthday, sis.
Thank you. So thank you all for celebrating with me today. This made my day. This is like I didn't need a big party, big shebang, but I did tell everybody that my birthday is like an international holiday because I have friends all around the world. Like not like
Me
to my
too.
own born, but I have friends in family that I've adopted all across the world. So even if I'm not there, they're celebrating with me virtually. So we're
Yeah,
here.
here we are.
So it's wonderful. So the Bible verse that I have for you all today comes from Exodus 15, verse 2, which reads, and this is the New Living Translation: The Lord is my strength and my song. He has given me victory. This is my God. I will praise him. My Father's God. I will exalt him. So I want you all to be encouraged, and shout out to George Washington and Wayne Chin. I'm sorry, not George. It's Jorge. I completely messed that up. Jorge Washington. That is like one of my other friends, another brother from a different mother in Charlotte. Right now, they are in Charlotte downtown at the CABW Fashion Week. And Wayne Chin is the fashion designer. He's a fashion show producer that I used to work with in Charlotte. And he has his own collection, Chino Art Couture in Charlotte. So shout out to them. They're at Fashion Week. I was hoping to get them to come on the call and kind of give us a shout out, but I know it's really crazy there. So we'll catch them another time. Also, shout out to Generation Next Realty team, to Carrot Omni Media, to the Empowered Lifestyle Radio Show, to Gloria Wong, my makeup sponsor, to Kate Diamond Braided Wigs, Careworthy and Hot Wax Promotions, to Toy Nicole, aka Cole the Model, big supporters of the show, and to Primitive Art by Alex Udebu. You see the beautiful paintings behind me are by.
Oh, that is nice.
Thank you. And I want to thank all of you for watching today. I also just want to say thank you again, Monica, for spending some time with me here on the broadcast. I'm so happy to get an update from Spain, and I'm happy to know that you and your family are well amidst this crazy pandemic.
Mm,
And, I'll be catching up with you soon. I know it's past your bedtime, so thank you for staying up
yeah.
late to join us. So we're going to get out of here. Hey, guys, next week is Father's Day. Okay. So I have we're going to have an awesome show next week. I'm really excited. I have a guest. His name is Anthony. He's going to be coming on. He is an author, and he's a founder of a men's organization. I believe it's called When Men Hurt, and he's going to be joining us to talk about his organization. And I think we forget, like, we see men and we just feel like men are tough, they're strong, but we don't think about the struggles that men go through. His
Mm.
Andrew Landry, in Andrew Landry. He's a public speaker, author, and CEO of Where Men Hurt. So he's going to join us next week for Father's Day to talk a little bit about some struggles and things, so we can find out how we can be more supportive of the men in our lives, our husbands, our fathers, our brothers, cousins, those men in our lives, they're special to us. And so we'll have a special Father's Day show next week with Andrew. So please tune in. We will be on our regular time next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. We are now live also on YouTube, and it will be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Sunday. Tune in for Father's Day. Toodles for now. From your girl Angier Marie signing off. This has been COVID-19 in Company, conversations from the epicenter across the globe. Bye, Monica.
Thank you for having me, and
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it. Happy birthday again.
Thank you.